This is James.
And I'm Jake.
We're with Falcons Fury Harley-Davidson, and today we have an interesting comparison for you. The best of what America has to offer, and arguably the best that Italy has to offer. The Ducati Monster 1200R and the Harley-Davidson Fat Bob. This isn't any Fat Bob though, this one has been significantly modified. This is going to be a fun comparison. Stick around, you don't want to miss a minute of this.
So guys, I want to talk to y'all just a little bit about this beautiful machine that we have in front of us. Obviously, I'm biased. It's my favorite. A lot of love for the Ducati, but seriously, this thing is so much fun. We have awesome T-bars on here. We have a 2-in-1 Bassani exhaust, and it doesn't look like it, and that's my favorite part, but that's actually a stage 1 intake. The bike's obviously a 114. It's 4 valves per cylinder like we discussed before, just like our Ducati friend over here. There's also 4 valves per cylinder. It's dual overhead cam. This is a single cam pushrod motor, but I really think this is gonna impress a lot of y'all. We have an inverted front end here. We have an inverted front end here, obviously. We have Brembos on this Ducati. There's a million different levels of traction control, and anything is usable, anything's functional on it. This machine is seriously top-notch quality all the way around. There's nothing about this bike I don't like, and I want to say that, all due respect to the Ducati. But there's one thing that seems to be missing to really catch my fancy, and that's that bar and shield logo. So, having said that, I think that, yeah, this is modified, and I think that's okay, because I think that, well, we deserve it.
Alright, I will follow you. We're going that way out. Okay, so here we go, and I had to do a voiceover today. We were unable to get the microphones working in the helmets and everything. You just can't get the help anymore. Maybe we should start a GoFundMe page. That would be good. Or you can just send me cash. That's fine. I take cash. That's good. Anyway, so here I am starting out on the Ducati 1200R. Now, I've ridden Monsters before. I've never ridden the 1200R. So when this one came into the dealership, I was pretty excited because I wanted to take this for a ride. This thing is a purebred sport bike. I mean, it is incredibly powerful. 152 horsepower on this thing. Huge amounts of torque. It really has that geometry where you can just get it down. I mean, you can get your knees down on this thing. It is absolutely a fantastic machine. It sounds good too. It doesn't quite have that Harley rumble, you know, with the 1300cc engine. It doesn't have that massive engine under you, but it does sound, it sounds sporty, certainly. And the design of it is, I think it's beautiful. It's got that very sort of sexy Italian look to it, you know, particularly in this red where it's just, you know, it's a Ferrari of motorcycles, isn't it? Oh, look at me. I look ridiculous in this helmet. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, you never get to see me in the helmet, but there I am in the mirror. The one thing is that the mirror, you'll notice, was a bit loose, and I didn't realize until we got here, and it kept swinging out. So nothing to do with the, you know, the build quality of Ducati. It just needs tightening. It's a little bit loose. So Jake was saying earlier, but this is a twin-cylinder engine. It's Ducati's naked bike concept, and they've just taken it to the extreme. They've just maxed this thing out completely in engine and also the electronics. See that mirror? It just keeps swinging around. But the technology on this bike is incredible, and it's something that Harley-Davidson don't touch. And to be honest, Harley-Davidson are not even trying to touch it with sort of the amount of technology that's on this machine. There are a number of different ride modes. There's sport, there's touring, and there's urban. Right now, I had it in touring mode. Sport mode is a lot of fun. It turns down the traction control, it turns down the ABS a little bit. You can turn those things completely off if you want to, but in touring mode, it kind of puts everything where the traction control's on, the ABS is on, and then urban mode is, you know, happy medium, I suppose, between the two. That Bassani exhaust on that Fat Bob. See, there you go. You got that sound there, that Ducati sound. It's definitely got the sport bike sound, not the deep rumble. So again, that just comes down to personal preference, which you prefer. It's why we decided to take the Fat Bob out. Was that is, in my mind, probably one of the best handling Harley-Davidsons that you can buy right now. That thing really loves to twist, you know, tear it up in the twisties. That mirror, man. But as far as handling goes on this Ducati, it is absolutely spectacular. You can just go around the corners completely effortlessly. Now the riding position obviously is significantly different. Your feet are behind you, your hands are down. It's a much more aggressive position. And then the Fat Bob, you can see Jake up there, he's just chilled out. And that's, you know, forward controls, handlebars up in the air. It's different strokes for different folks. I'm not going to say one of these bikes is significantly better than the other one. It's just whichever you prefer to ride. And one thing you do notice on the Ducati right away is that it's a much lighter bike than pretty much any Harley out there, which gives it, you know, a much more sense of flickability and ease of moving, and the pegs being back help with the maneuverability a little bit. But forward controls, you know, there's a little bit of misconception about them where people think, oh, it's forward controls, it's hard to handle the bike, it takes away from the handling. And to be honest, it really, really doesn't. I mean, on these new Harley-Davidsons, the forward controls are not hugely forward. They're just slightly forward of mid, so you still regain a lot of control of the bikes. One thing, though, that Ducati needs to do, and every manufacturer needs to do, is that auto cancelling signal. Look at that, it's just on, just blinking away there. Everyone thinks I'm turning right. So there we go, a win for Harley. I still haven't noticed, look. Yep, just going. As far as comfort goes, the Harley is obviously going to be more comfortable than the Ducati, and that's just the nature of the beast. The riding position is more comfortable, the seat is more comfortable. It just is. The Ducatis are not designed for extreme comfort. New construction corner though, it is fun. And you can't ride a 1200R without talking about the chassis on this. It's really, really good. The Öhlins suspension, front and rear, really make this handle fantastically, and then the braking on this with those Brembos is awesome. It is one of the best braking systems I've ever ridden on a motorcycle. You touch the brake, it stops. It is incredibly responsive, and it makes it, you have an enormous sense of control when riding this motorcycle. So coming to the end of my time on the Monster 1200R, I've come away really, really impressed. It handles fantastically. It looks amazing. It sounds really, really good. The brakes are great. The suspension is great. It's going to be tough to beat. So I'm going to hop on the Fat Bob. Jake's going to hop on this, and we're just going to tell you a little bit about our first impressions. Alright, so we just rode the Ducati, the Fat Bob. We're about to switch bikes and see what you think. What do you think of the Fat Bob so far?
Oh my gosh, man. So I'm not gonna lie, obviously I told y'all earlier I was biased, and I knew that would play a factor, but that can't be all there is to that bike. That is one of the most magnificent, it's just pure joy. Yeah. When you twist the throttle, you just get this grin on your face that you just can't hope to have, because it is that much fun to ride that motorcycle.
Yeah. And having just rode the Ducati, I want to tell you, it's awesome. It is absolutely incredible. The brakes on it are just, you will stop on a dime, as they say. The engine on it is fantastic. The acceleration, spectacular. The only thing it's missing for me is the noise. I like a little bit of engine noise. You're not getting much of that on the Ducati, but my God, what a machine. I even wore my Italian helmet just for the day. Anyway, we're gonna switch them up, and then we'll hit you back up when we're back at the dealership, and we'll give our final thoughts on these two machines.
Just to get us back there.
Yep.
I know where my money would go.
Yes, Jake stole the Ducati.
I did stall the Ducati. Wimpy gearbox, Ducati.
Okay, so I am now on the Fat Bob. Jake's on the Ducati, which he stalled, as you saw there, because it is a little bit different. If you used to ride in these, it's a slightly different gearbox. When you first get on the Fat Bob, and this is, like we say, it's a fairly heavily modified Fat Bob with the T-bars, your arms are up in the air. It does have the 114 engine, but it has had the stage 1 done on it. What you notice right off the bat is the amount of low-end torque on this. When you twist the throttle on the Fat Boy, it pulls like a freight train, and that Bassani exhaust sounds absolutely spectacular. It is low, it is deep, it is growly. I really, really like it. See? Mirrors that don't swing wildly. No, it's not a knock on the Ducati, they just need tightening up. What you notice on the Fat Bob, the seating position, it's just much more comfortable inherently. Your feet are slightly forward, you're sitting a little bit more upright, your hands are out straight. It's a slightly more comfortable bike. It's definitely not a sporty feeling. But that torque is very, very impressive. And even a 114 without the stage 1, just a regular, will still pull like a freight train, as will the 107. They just have that huge amount of low-end torque, which is what makes a Harley-Davidson a Harley-Davidson. That Ducati, though, looks very, very cool. Yeah, now with the new Milwaukee 8 engine, you don't get that much vibration. So in the past, when you put on a Harley, you'd know you're on a Harley because your bloody hands would be shaking all over the place. It's not the case anymore. It's a really refined engine. It sort of fits right in there almost with that European sensibilities. It has a much more smooth, refined engine, but it still has that low-end grunt, and you can really rev it out. Handling, it's no problem. It is not as sporty as the Ducati, but that is by design. You can still get this way over in the corners. You're not going to scrape the pegs unless you go really far down, and in most day-to-day driving, you're never going to get that low. Here's the sharp left turn, which is always a lot of fun. You can see Jake up ahead there through the windshield. The Ducati will lean over pretty nicely. The Fat Bob hangs with it. It really does. Now I think if you got into some canyons and you were on the real twisties, the Fat Bob is not going to keep up with the Ducati, and that's just the nature of the beast. It's that's what it's designed to do. But as far as a sport cruiser, the Fat Bob is absolutely the best out there, and I realize a better comparison would have been against the Ducati Diavolo, which is their sports cruiser, but we didn't have one, so we did it against a Monster. It's fine. Both great bikes though. You can have them for around about the same amount of money, which is why we decided to do these two in particular. They're just fantastic machines. Now we're heading back to the dealership. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was just sort of a brief comparison overview. Pick a winner. I'm probably going to go with a Harley-Davidson because that's just... I like Harley-Davidson. Ducati though, if I had it, I would never complain a day. Jake did forget about the signals though. Look at that. He's just blinking away at that. So listen, we're going to go back to Jake and I, wrap this up, give you our final thoughts, and I'll chat with you guys in the next video. Take care.
All right, we are done riding them. The Ducati Monster 1200R and the modified Fat Bob. Jake.
Guys, I love a good Ducati, I do, but I gotta be 100% honest with all of y'all. I was not impressed, and it makes sense that the guy traded that in for a Harley, because that Fat Bob absolutely blew my mind, and it really left a lot to be desired with the Ducati after riding something like that. So
Yeah, you know, I mean, I still love the Ducati, but maybe that's because I'm European and I have to say that. I don't know, is that where it goes? Well, we're not part of Europe anymore. Thanks, Boris Johnson. But yeah, for my money, I'd go with a Fat Bob. And then, I'm not just saying that because we work for Harley. I mean, honest, genuinely, it's more fun to ride. It's a more visceral experience. It's just, you feel like you got more machine under you. You know, the torque is higher. It's just, it's a lot more fun. You do have the sound. That Bassani exhaust on that thing is insane. But I'm not going to knock the Ducati because I thought it was spectacular. I loved every minute being on it. I just loved every minute more on the Fat Bob. So that's anyway.
Agree.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and comment below if you disagree. I'm sure you will. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.